All right, this is Summer McMurry with Carolina Pediatric Therapy, and today I have my 4 SLP Queens of the Green Screen on here. So these are a lot of our speech pathologists have been exploring teletherapy and have been pulling together ideas and activities for children to keep them engaged during the teletherapy process. So, so I'm going to introduce our SLP panel today, the Queens of the Green Screen. And we have Myrna Reeser and Serena Murison, Stephanie Norton, and Stephanie Ann Smith. So I want you guys to tell me a little bit about, I'm going to start with you, Serena, because I want you to tell me a little bit about how this started, because you kind of were the catalyst on our team with the green screen. So tell me how this came about.
So this came about because I was starting to feel like a little bogged down by teletherapy. I was thinking, how can I make this as much like me and therapy in person as possible? So I made a green screen that takes up quite a bit of my wall with green construction paper, and kind of went from there on just brainstorming. What could I do? What kind of activities could I do? And the snowball just kind of grew. And now look at all of us. We've all got different ideas now.
Yes, it's so much fun to see. I've been enjoying your videos, and these ladies have been doing behind the scenes videos on how they put their green screens together and different activities that they've been using. So I thought it would be really fun for us to share that today. And I asked them to prepare a few activities together to show, and they all are picking different ones, so there won't be any duplication, but I'd like to see some of those. So the first thing let me start with Serena, and I'm going to change my view so that you're all of the screen so people can really see closely what you're doing. So let me change my view real quick. Okay, so Serena, talk to me first about what your green screen is made out of. And you have a different one as well, I think. Don't you have another version of this green screen?
Yes, so I have two. I have this green screen, and then I also have a green fabric that I've been using to make magic happen, which I might show later.
Okay.
So just green objects to make things disappear.
Awesome. Okay, well, so I asked Serena to share at least 3 activities with us. So you can start the activity and just tell me the name of your activity, the skills you're addressing, and the age group that this activity is best for.
So my first activity is our treasure hunt activity, which I have had such a blast doing every week, every day, pretty much. It starts with us going on a treasure hunt. This is typically for preschoolers, but it has also worked with some of my school-aged kids. I can increase the complexity, and I'll show you how. So how I started is I say, I want to go on a treasure hunt, but I need your help. I am looking for clues that will take us to the next location, and then the next location, and the next location until we find the treasure. And if you see a floating envelope, let me know. So if we have a floating envelope that sort of appears, and they'll say, I see it. You can do prepositions right here. Where is it? Behind you. Where is it? On your head. Where is it? And they tell me where it is, and then I tell them to say, come closer, come closer. Then we try to grab it. I can't get it, it's trying to get away from me. And then we open it up and it says, let's say, oh, the clue says we need to go somewhere where it's sandy. Where is somewhere sandy? And then the client has to answer the beach. And if they can't quite get to it, we can give more clues. Somewhere here's another clue. Somewhere sandy that you wear a bathing suit. Somewhere sandy that there are umbrellas and towels. And then they'll say the beach. So then you change your location to the beach. Now we're at the beach, and you go through multiple different locations. What's great about this is you can modify this for your child's interests. So for some of my kids, they love going to McDonald's. So that's been one of the places that we've ended up going. For other kids, they love going to Walmart toy section. That's another location. What's really great about this is you can increase complexity. It doesn't even have to be locations. You can do who questions. You can do where questions. You can do why questions and have responses with why images. But at the end, once we finally get to our location, we end up in the treasure box, which is obviously the most important part.
Of course.
Yes, of course. That's what we're all here for. So we've got to find the treasure box. So then you end up at the treasure, and we finally found it. And I have a little treasure box that we open and try and see what's inside. And sometimes I put different things. What do you think's in there? Oh, it's a teddy bear. What do you think's in there? Oh, it's golden coins. So this has been fun. And for some of my kids, I've been changing. If they want to do this activity again, we change what's inside the box so we can do more guessing. So that's my first and favorite activity.
Awesome. That looks like so much fun. You look like you're a character in Blue's Clues.
It does feel like I'm a character in Blue's Clues. And they think that too. And I think that's why it's been so successful, that they are like,
how is she doing that? Well, now, can you pull back the curtain a bit on the envelope? How are you making that envelope float?
So the envelope is floating on a paint stick.
Okay.
And I've just taped it on a paint stick that I wrapped in the same construction paper that is my background, and then it floats. And when I'm pulling it, you know, sometimes it flies away. It does different crazy things. Sometimes it bonks me in the head. They love that.
Yes, so, the envelope is a character as well.
Yes, exactly. And it has a little mind of its own, and sometimes the kids go really silly with the envelope. So that is activity number one. My next activity I want to share is a house labeling who question activity with floating people again. So this one I have been showing the house, all the different rooms in the house. We've got our bedroom, our living room, our hallway, our dining room, kitchen, office, bathroom, laundry room, attic, and we have our boy and girl. So I've been using, a lot of my kids are working on pronoun use. So this is, again, more preschool aged activity. So we have our boy, we have our girl, and we can put them in different locations and practice, where is she, where is he, where are they, and sort of change it, and they can answer the where questions and also expand their phrases. So sometimes they'll say, there, and I say, where is there? Is there the bathroom? Yes, say they are in the bathroom. They are in the bathroom. Oh, they moved. Sometimes we do it as a memory activity. So I'll say, the girl went to the bedroom, then she went to the living room, and then she went to the bathroom. Tell me, where did she go? Tell me 3 places she went, and they have to get it in sequential order. So it's just a great way to hold their attention, but also the magic of the floating people.
I love that magic. That's so great.
That's really fun. And then Myrna really wanted me to show this one. I have been doing this one a lot. I have been going to the snow and being very, very chilly. So I'm like, oh, so cold, and I don't have any of my snow clothes. I'm freezing. What do I put on my hands when they're cold? And then they'll say, gloves, and I'll go and get some gloves. And then I remember, wait, where do I put my gloves? Your hands. Oh yes, my hands. So we can work on clothing vocabulary, and question, answer, responses. And I say, well, wait, what else am I missing for going in the snow? I'm really freezing. What else am I missing? And sometimes I'll give a clue if they can't figure it out, like, what goes on my head? Oh, a hat. I need a hat. So I'll put on my snow hat, and I say, but my neck is still exposed. It's freezing. What do I need? A scarf. So we start getting me all dressed up in all of my snow gear. And then I say, but I still don't have it. What am I missing? What goes over our shirt? Your jacket. Yes, my jacket. So then I put on my snow jacket.
Oh my.
And things just keep popping up. I've also have you can do my hot coffee mug, which I've been saying, oh, I want something warm to drink. What could I drink? Hot chocolate. And then after this activity is complete, you can share the feature of the whiteboard, and we can draw a snowman together. So now that I'm all ready to draw one, because I was too cold before, now we can draw a snowman.
That is fantastic. Wow. Serena, yes. You just become a storybook character in all of this.
Yes, it really is so fun.
Awesome. Okay, well, so Stephanie Ann, do you want to go next? Can you go next?
Sure, I'll go next. So let's see, first activity. I've been working on who questions with a number of my kids, and so I've just kind of got a sequence here. So, oh, it's warm in here. It's feeling really hot. What's going on? Oh, a fire. Oh, a fire. Who puts out fires? That's right. Firefighters put out fires.
Awesome.
And the next one, oh, look at all that mail. I wonder who brought me all these letters. Who brings the mail? That's right, the mailman brings the mail. And so I've got like several of these. Oh, he's sick. Who should he go see? that's right, the doctor. So I've got a whole sequence of these that work really well for getting the kids engaged with paying attention to the screen and working on who questions. Let's see. So I have a number of kiddos working on emotions and their complexities. So this one would be for older kids, probably 5th grade through 7th grade. And I bring up the picture, and there are several ways that I do this. The first thing I usually do is I ask them, how does this make you feel? And most of them are like, yeah, excited. And I'm like, oh, it makes me feel scared. And I'll ask them if they didn't do it to show me their excited face and show me their scared face, and we'll talk about what those look like and what they feel like. And then typically I will, I'll make an emotion like, oops, is that the emotion that matches the picture? So I've got like that one, or the cute puppy one, and they think, oh, he's cute and it makes me happy. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, puppies can bite. And we walk through the different emotions and how they feel, and we practice making our faces, and then we talk about them. And then, like Serena said, I do sometimes at that point go to the whiteboard and we can draw, like, what does surprise look like? Your eyes have to be big, your mouth is open. And going through all the details to help them recognize like what these emotions look like on somebody else and what they feel like on themselves. And then working on some prepositions. And let me see. Is there a way to make my video the biggest?
So you can see yourself?
Yeah.
I think on your view you might.
Okay, that's
better. Out of the gallery view.
And so most of my kids know that I am terrified of spiders. I've been doing this with things the kids like, but the spider has by far worked the best. So I'm like, oh, look at the spider. Where is he? Oh, I can't see him. Oh no, I'm afraid. Where is he? He's under the book. Oh, I'm gonna get him. What do you mean? What do you mean? He's back. He's under the bed. Oh, I'm gonna get him. And then so on and so forth, under, over, beside, all across the room, me constantly taking my flip-flop and smushing the spider and acting afraid when he comes back.
That is awesome. I love that. You need a hand. That's great. I love those activities. Are you finding that some of your kids, you'd mentioned that some of your kids have been more responsive in this model of therapy? You've gotten a lot more progress than even in person sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I can't make something like this and then smush it in real life. I mean, I could, but they can see my hand, here, they can't see my hand. They just see a spider,
Right.
And it's a lot bigger, and, it's not nearly as cool if I pull my shoe out and smush something in real life.
Yeah.
And same thing with the emotions, because it's bigger, right? They can see my face directly juxtaposed with the picture, as opposed to maybe looking one on a tablet or in a book. So I think it makes it a little more obvious and a little easier to understand that way.
Right. Well, and a lot of more focused attention, it seems, with the screen, and you being right there in front of them, and your face is filling up the screen so they can really see and engage. That seems to be the feedback that we've gotten from a lot of our families, is that, or our therapists, is that the kids are engaging. Sometimes their attention is even better on this because they're not so distracted from the other things. And this is a lot of animation. So that's really nice that you guys are using all these really fun activities that are really age appropriate. Okay. Do you have any more? Was that your last one?
Yeah, those are my 3.
Okay, great. Okay, Myrna, let's get you up here next.
Okay. So my green screen is a plastic tablecloth, 2 actually, that came from Walmart. Here's another one. They were 97 cents. So
that's very affordable.
You can do this. This is affordable. So I've been doing a few things. One thing I've been doing is taking my kids on a field trip. And the great thing about virtual is you can go on a field trip anywhere. But this week we went to the zoo. And so I usually start with this background and say, where do you think we're going? Or I start with a lot of different backgrounds and say, where are we going? Do you think we're going to the farm? Do you think we're going out in space? And then from there, you know, we switch and see all the different animals and what they look like, and they're tall. We can target the animal vocabulary. I can do size, tall, short. We do action words. They're eating, are they walking, are they sitting? And I've done lots of animals, but the kids really like it when I get scared.
Right.
Tiger is really scary. And so we just go through the zoo and see all the animals, from the scary ones to my favorite, who is Mr. Bear, who sits here and looks at me.
Aww.
And so I don't know where we're going next week, because we went to the zoo this week. We might go to the farm. I've been asking the kiddos where they would like to go, and restaurants seem to be a big thing. I didn't realize these kids were going to miss going to the restaurants, but I've had Bay Breeze requested, which is a seafood restaurant, and I've had McDonald's requested, so we may have to take a trip to a restaurant. So I do this mostly with my little kids, but my middle school kids, we usually just fly through it kind of quick too, just for fun, and they really enjoy it. So the second thing that I have been doing is some shared book reading activities. When I first started, I was just using a regular book or using the books that are online where they come up, but it wasn't interactive enough for my little kids. And so I started using them as my backgrounds, and I put up this week the Very Hungry Caterpillar. And so I just took the YouTube version of the book and I did the screenshots, and then we can say, oh, look, there's a tiny little egg. There was an egg, and there's the moon. And then the next day, pop, you know, out came a caterpillar. And the kids just really seem to interact with it better when it's on the screen. Sorry, I'm in front of it today. On the screen instead of me sitting down with the book and going through page by page showing them. And, you know, we've done food vocabulary, we've done action words. A lot of my kids who are kind of pre-linguistic, we can really slow this down so we can do, you know, pie, you know, or pop. And, you know, it's quiet. There's not a lot of noise in the background, so it's a great way to get them to participate. I did the same thing with music. A lot of my tiniest kids like to do songs. And when I was using the songs that were pre-recorded that I could share my screen with, the music was just too fast or too loud for those kiddos, and I couldn't hear them. So instead, I've downloaded The Wheels of the Bus, and we sing it together. I'm not a singer, but the kids don't care, and their parents tolerate it, so we're good. So we do The Wheels of the Bus, go round and round, and the thing is that when music is playing, you're having to stop the flow and interrupt. But when you're using this and you're doing the singing, then you know, you're just stopping and going as the child interacts with you and stuff. So I thought this has been just a lot of fun. We've enjoyed doing this. So
That is really great, Myrna. I love that you brought in the storybook part. I love repeated storybook reading and using that as literacy as a part of therapy with little ones and older kids as well. It's a nice way to bring it in.
And you can use older books for your older children too.
Right.
It's more complicated, but still you get this kind of interaction. So
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, and Stephanie Norton, is that your last one, Myrna?
yes.
It is. Okay, Stephanie Norton, you're up.
All right. I have a lot of articulation kiddos and oral motor and some apraxia. So a lot of my stuff is sound and syllable based. So I have 3 different ways to target articulation because they can get bored very quickly if you're doing the same type of flashcard. What is this? So my first activity that I'm going to show you is an idea I kind of got from Serena, and it's doing I Spy, but for articulation. So earlier today, I was doing, I'll pull up one that I was doing, was the SH sound. So something really simple. You can do, I bought a bundle with different pictures for all phonemes, and we'll do I Spy. So we'll actually take turns because it works on their ability to do phrases or giving them a break and then me saying I Spy and then just doing the word level. So for example, I'll say what I spy with my little eye, something that lives in the ocean. And they might say a whale, or they might say a shark. And so if they say a whale, I'm like, great. I'm like, but what is the whale doing? Is it swimming and I'll usually say splashing. I'm like, great job, you got it. And I'll side of the whale, and I take a white piece of paper and we just cover up as we go. And even though you can still see the paper, they respond to it. A more of an interactive game, like, okay, it's your turn. And then they'll say, oftentimes I'll get, I spy shark. And they'll tell me what it is. And I'm like, great, SH sound, or I didn't hear that sound the best way you can do it. And we'll try it again. Great job. Let's say bye to the shark. Bye, shark. And it gives opportunity for saying just the word level. Again, we can say, it's time to say bye to the shark. And you can say, I spy something. Sometimes when they say the word, I spy a shark, phrase level, you can do different levels. And it also gave me some opportunity to do some S sounds with it, but some of my kids have multiple phoneme targets. So I'll say, I spy, and then emphasize each phoneme that we're working on. So that's one really easy activity, and it just is paper with tape. So that's the first one. And then for my second one, also for articulation, is I started doing different game boards. So I found this one, Snakes and Ladders. This one right here, and this is just a simple screenshot picture I found online, or I'll look up game boards that you can purchase. But instead of bringing them up on a shared screen, do a screenshot and upload it this way. And same thing for this. Use little game board pieces that I made, very similar to what Serena did on green construction paper. So it's just printed out. And we'll start down at our start sign. And sometimes I'll share my page with spinner. And if I do a spinner on there, I'll let them click if they have the ability to do that. Lots of my kids, I noticed, if they're on a phone or if they are doing the virtual session on something that's not a computer, sometimes it doesn't give them the ability to click and interact on the page. So that's really why I started doing the green screen, is because for them to interact. I was doing all the clicking, and that's not really fun for a child in preschool or even, and that's the nice part, is this can be used for multiple age ranges. And with that, we do a spinner, and whatever the target is, for example, I have some other flashcards I'll be using next, but say they're doing F, we would say the word that many times that the spinner lands on. And I have a virtual one that I bring up and share with them so they can click and spin it, and then we'll practice the word that many times. Piece 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you get to go up, and then we move it, and then I have a second piece too, so we can both play. So they can get a break from their sounds and get a model of it. So I'll actually take a full turn and do the words, or if they want to do a lot of drill work or need to do drill work, it provides the opportunity for them to get a lot of trials. So there's that one. And then for my third one, This is actually my favorite one. We go fishing. So let me just pull that one up. Where is it? Where's my fishing boat? Okay, I found it. Fishing. So here is my fishing background. And I love this because when I tried to find one that was just like the ocean, it wasn't as interactive, but I found with the boat that kind of looks like you go fishing. You could also name things in it. So I actually have a magical box that you can't see. That's right in front of me. And I'll say, we're gonna go fishing. And sometimes the children will want to grab a dice, or I share a dice or a spinner on the screen. And that's how many times we'll say our words. So I'm like, do you think I'm gonna catch any fish? Let's go, here's my fishing rod. Wow, oh my gosh, where'd this fish come from? And then we look at it, I'm like, what is on this fish? It's a football. All right, we're gonna say it however many times it landed on, so say it's 3, and we'll do football. If they need other cues such as syllable breaking down, I'll do the clapping with it. And I'm like, okay, we have to say bye to the fish, and I'll put it away. And then I have more in here, and it's just repetition, but they like controlling how many times they have to say it. They think that they have control whenever they get to do the spinner. And I'm like, yeah, we have to do what you say because you're the spinner. You get control. And it gives them the opportunity to kind of have a big part in the activity too.
That is awesome. So that was your third one, right? Okay, so everybody, now let's talk about the green screens really quickly. So if we've got construction paper, we have one out of a tablecloth. And Stephanie Ann, what is yours from?
It's actually fabric. I have a friend who owns a company that had a green screen, so I got to borrow it for free.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. And Serena, you bought one online as well?
Well, this one is it's a fabric tablecloth.
Okay.
From Amazon. It was like $11.
Okay, great. So just really pretty inexpensive way to do a very interactive activity when you're doing teletherapy. And now, are any of you going to carry this on once we're all back in person again? Do you think you'll continue to use the green screen for other things?
Yes, I know I will, because I have a really good idea. I think that the kids, imagine this, we could bring mini green screens, you guys, like in a little shoebox.
Yes.
And we could use the iPad or the phone to film little movies on green screens with our little characters. And we can do sort of the same thing that we were doing online. I think it would be really cool.
That's fantastic. Yeah, what a great idea. I love that. Well, cool. Now, about your pictures, now you guys said you were getting images. So you don't, Zoom doesn't come with all of those images in there. You can just pick from anything. Where are you getting the images?
Google.
Yep. Unanimously Google?
Yes. The only thing that's not from Google is oftentimes if you want something very specific, if they have a very specific goal, I go on Teachers Pay Teachers, and that's where I got that I Spy bundle. And that wasn't just articulation. They actually had a whole for language and for fluency. And the language one was comparing, contrasting synonyms, antonyms, multiple meanings. So you can get actual PDFs and just do screenshots of them. Yeah. And that I was able to do the same activity for all my language kids and say, I spy something, I spy the synonym for happy, and they have to find it. And I cover that one. So it's very, you can go on pretty much any educational website and find useful things.
That is wonderful.
YouTube and Epic Kids too. You can screenshot from YouTube, like Myrna did for her book and for the Wheels on the Bus.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, it sounds like that's a pretty amazing resource to have for a very relatively low price to put those activities together. And you guys have done an amazing job. You've all become storybook characters. I'm so thankful for you guys sharing today. I hope this is helpful for those who are watching this. I'm sharing with other SLPs. So we have our SLP Queens of the Green Screen interview. We can set the tape. So thank you guys so much for being here. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Yeah, thanks for sharing. It's so great. Thanks so much.
All right.